Hello friends, this lesson is about interquartile range. So let's talk about that. First of all, let's remind ourselves what range is. So we learned a couple weeks ago about range. Range is the range of the span of the entire data. You find the range by subtracting the minimum value from the maximum value. So in this example at the top, we have points scored per football game. They've got all the data listed here at the top, and they've thankfully already put it in order from least to greatest. So, and then they created a box plot right here for us. So what they did, in order to find the range of this data, we need to take the the largest data, the maximum, 39, and subtract the minimum, the smallest piece of data, from that. So the range, the whole range for this amount of data is going to be 33. So that would be the range. Now, the interquartile range, or the IQR, is a measure of variability in a numerical set of data. The IQR represents the spread of the middle 50% of the data values. You can find the IQR by subtracting the first quartile or the lower quartile, we've been calling it, from the third quartile or the upper quartile, as we've been calling it. Okay, so in our example up here at the top, we've got our lower quartile, which is about here, which is, let's say, 19, and our upper quartile, which is 35. And to find the interquartile range, we're going to take 35 and subtract 19. So that is going to be, come on, pen, 16. So 16 would be our interquartile range. That's all there is to it. That's all you have to do to figure out what the interquartile range is. So let's look at some examples here. So we've got some box plots on this example here, and it asks, does the data set have an interquartile range of 16? Okay, so in order to figure that out, we need to look at the middle 50% of the data. So that's going to be this part right here. So let's take a look. We've got our upper quartile, in this example, is 55, and our lower quartile in this example is about 42, okay? So if we subtract those, we find that the interquartile range for letter A is 13, and we're looking for 16. So we know that that's not what we're looking for. So let's take a look at B. Remember, the interquartile range, the middle 50% of the data, is right here. So we've got an upper quartile on this box plot of 20 and a lower quartile of 10, and if we subtract that, we get 10. That is not what we're looking for. So let's check the bottom box plot. We've got our middle 50% of our data right here. So our upper quartile is 115 right here, and our lower quartile is 99. So when we subtract those, we get 16, and that is what we're looking for. So our data set that has an interquartile range of 16 is going to be letter C. All right, let's answer some other questions here. We've got a box plot. It says the incubation time in days of a canary, dove, myna, penguin, pigeon, I don't know, a bunch of birds, sorry, are observed, and a box plot has been drawn. I don't even know how to say half those words. So we're going to read the box plot and answer the questions. The first question they ask is, what's the first quartile? We've been calling that the lower quartile from the given plot. So we know that the lower quartile is right here. And if we draw that line down, it's really close to, let's see, this is skip counting by ones. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it's about at 15 and a half. Okay, that's our lower quartile. Next it says, what's the maximum incubation time? So that's going to be this number here. So let's draw that line down to here. And it looks like the maximum incubation time is 35 days. Okay. Then it asks, what's the median? The median is our middle number. It's right here. So coming down to the bottom to read that on our number line, we've got a 20. And then it wants to know the interquartile range. Well, to find the interquartile range, we need to know our upper quartile, which is, let's see, 28. And we're going to subtract from 28 our lower quartile, which we said over here is 15.5. And thankfully, we can use our calculator. Not that we couldn't subtract this on paper or in our head, but life is easier with a calculator. So 28 minus 15.5 gives us an interquartile of range of 12.5. All right, so let's do one more example. We have an electronic gadgets distributor who distributes various brands of mobiles to retailers. The data for the number of smartphones distributed in 9 months, January to September, are collected to make a box and whisker plot. Read the plot and answer the questions. So question number A says, write the median from the above given plot. So we know our median is our middle line here, and that is 40. And letter B says, what's the least number of smartphones distributed? So we want our minimum, which is going to be right here, and that is 34. What is the third quartile, or the upper quartile, from the given plot? That's this spot right here, which is about, oh goodness, it's halfway between 48 and 49. So we're going to say that's 48 and a half, 48.5. And then it wants to know the interquartile range. Our interquartile range is our upper quartile, which we just said was 48 and a half, minus our lower quartile, which is right here, and that is 37. So when we subtract those, 48 minus, 48.5 minus 37 is 11.5. All right, so that's our interquartile range. I won't draw a dot. There we go. So also one thing I just wanted to point out is a lot of you were making mistakes on this in previous weeks. When you draw a number line, look at how my number line is numbered. It's in even increments. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, that's how you can number a number line. In our example back here, they were numbered by tens. You cannot skip around when you're numbering your number line. You can't say, oh, 10, 17, 34, 62. You can't do that. You have to number your number line in even increments. So I saw a lot of people making mistakes on that before. So just make sure that you have your number line numbered evenly. I don't know that you're going to be drawing any box plots or doing number lines on the homework, or you're just reading the interquartile range. So if you have any questions, email me.